Move.
Okay.
Back off. Just Luke
Okay.
Skywalker,
I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna get it all out so then we can talk. As you've probably read, this is us after the first viewing Thursday night of The Last Jedi. This is before it is out. We are going to do 2 sections of this video. One with spoilers, one without them. You are watching the one without them because trust me, there's a lot to spoil. Don't watch the other one if you haven't seen it.
So much to
let's
spoil.
talk about the movie non-spoilers.
7 out of 10 is fine. It's pretty low.
Okay.
I mean, it was too much like Empire Strikes Back, but you know.
Do you notice? Like, okay. I don't even know where to fucking begin, guys. If you haven't guessed, we like Star Wars. I wear a Star Wars shirt. He bought a Star Wars shirt just to have to wear for this. He likes it so much.
So, like, I don't know if you follow the same people that we do, but both Jeremy and Chris gave this about the same rating.
Well, Jeremy hasn't technically given one yet, has he?
Well, yes, but it was pretty much the same, though.
Oh, okay. Did he say the same thing about the same thing?
Pretty much.
Okay.
He's like,
okay.
He's like, that part in the middle is real boring.
What?
They're wrong.
Whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm convinced at this point that they weren't, like, they were just trying to avoid being called Star Wars
Fanboys.
shills.
Yeah, after, like, because Chris got that shit at Force Awakens, and then he got the opposite end of the stick when Rogue One happened.
Yeah.
Okay, also, we should... this movie's fucking great!
Yeah.
We should stop beating around the bush.
I mean...
this movie's great!
I mean, in my opinion, which admittedly is not worth much, you can think whatever
I mean,
you
you
like,
watch us, so...
but, like, this is the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah, as a film, no, I'm with you. And this ain't, like, post-movie high hype. I'm, like, legit. This movie, this was made by, I mean, we love Rian Johnson. That is not a fucking secret at all. But, like, and, like, you can tell a man with a vision made this movie. Like, this wasn't Disney that made this movie. Not that Force Awakens was like that. But...
like, the minute I knew that, like, this guy is on to some next level shit. There's a shot.
There's so many to talk
about. In
about.
Snoke's throne room, when all the shit happens.
Okay, yeah. Spoilers. We won't say any.
That's the one.
Yeah. Like, there are... like, the trailer, he's really emphasizing this is not going to go the way you think. And trust me, we postulated, we thought
over so much.
I wasn't right. Like, I was right about, like, 2 small things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. We still don't know everything, by the way. Like,
this is like the single most elaborate prank ever pulled.
And it's flawless.
Oh my god.
Flawless! Like, every single time, you think you know where the movie is going.
And then it's like, psych! Motherfucker!
Which is like the most, it is the most removed from Force Awakens you could possibly be. Because, like, again, let's go over that real quick. We love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason I cannot award that movie a 10 out of 10, it's like a personal 10, but it's like a film guy 9, is because...
I don't have that problem.
It's because the movie, it essentially had to prove that it could do what we wanted it to set out to do. So it's like, hey, here's a Star Wars movie so that you all know that we know what we're doing. This movie is the knowing what we're doing part. 'Cause wow. Like, dude, like, one perfect shot of movie. I thought that was Blade Runner, but dude.
Just... alright, I'm not sure we're gonna have a spoiler section, because, like, we're almost there and shit.
Okay, alright.
And, like, I don't think we need
we don't even need to discuss anything. We just need to say, if you're...
it's exactly as good as you're hoping it is.
Yes, if you're the type of people like us, who like the original movies, who do not care for the prequels, who like Force Awakens, who thought Rogue One was good, if you're in that camp, which most people are, thank goodness, you're fine. Don't worry about a goddamn thing. Stay away from the internet, go see this blind, and have the best goddamn theater experience you will have in your entire fucking life. The audience we saw it with was great.
I don't know any of those people except for like 10 of them.
Yeah.
They're also, I love all of them.
Yes.
Are you going?
Normally, if you clap during a movie and not the credits, I'm pissed. But there was 2 points in this movie where people actually clapped, and I was like, nah, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go!
Like, again, a lot of this is probably just because we didn't know what it is, and now we know, and because it's a surprise, but, like, this is gonna be such a fantastic movie to rewatch, because Rian Johnson just makes movies that are so kinetic, and you're like, that's so cool, look at that fucking thing! Like, he has so many little things, and you're like, look at that shit, look at that shit, look at that shit! And it's the whole movie, and then it does a good thing, and it's Steak and Shake, go see it!
I mean, you're gonna, we don't have to tell you.
Yeah, but, like,
It's
it's
probably rat as hell. Can you check my sides, please, dear?
Okay, goodbye, everyone. I love you.
Hija de Miranda, tu apellido se cambió.
Did I not record any of that? Really? Okay. Well, looks like I have to start over again. I just did an introduction to myself because I didn't hit the record button. Christmas tree. Hey, it's been a while since it's just been me and you. What's up? How you doing? So I was saying that in our Last Jedi video, we were being really vague because we didn't want to spoil things, but I thought that it wasn't enough. And we said we were going to do a spoiler video, but we couldn't because we went to Steak and Shake to talk with our friends who had also seen it, just to, you know, talk and stuff. And Morgan's not here. He's got school tomorrow. So this is going to be the section of the video where I get to talk about the movie, be a little bit, tiny bit more in depth. It's not going to be that long. Just cause it's the, you know, same night, same Star Wars hoodie. It's cool. It's fine. We're having fun here. We have fun. And please, for the love of God, if you haven't seen the movie, please don't watch this part. I know a lot of people say that, and a lot of people just watch, like, because I'm gonna spoil shit. And I just want to talk about it. I want to be very brief. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. I might do a video on it again with Jacob to see how it holds up, because, you know, your opinion on a film can change, and I want to talk about shit. Okay, let's talk about shit. The Last Jedi is great. I said that it's probably the best Star Wars movie as a film, and I probably stand by that. And a lot of people are going to get on my ass because, you know, Empire, and Empire's great. And Empire is my favorite. This one's so good it might change. I don't know. But every Star Wars movie has problems. They all have problems. Every movie has a problem. But so it's like, oh, well, Jake, how can you give a 10 out of 10 to something? Well, I have a mantra I go by, and a movie does not need to be perfect to earn a 10 out of 10 or an A+ or a perfect score. A movie just has to be so good that it makes you not care about its faults, that it makes up for that. That's what makes perfection in my eyes. And this movie is an epitome of that. Like, a lot of people are talking about this one part in the middle that has to do with Finn and with his new character, and that they feel like it slows the movie down. And personally, I was not privy to these complaints before because I didn't watch any reviews. So personally, I got to go in and just kind of experience it and not hear people, like, you know, say that beforehand. So I feel like my opinion is a bit different because, I don't know, I just kind of enjoyed it. Because the setting that they're talking about is that they go and they have to find this person who can get them onto the Death Star. Not the Death Star. The ship that Kylo Ren is on. And it's like this upper class, like, gambling place, which it's very Rian Johnson. Like, if you've seen his movies, it's like, yeah, of course it would be this, like, place. And one of the reasons I thought it was interesting was because it's like this high-class society thing, and we've never seen that in Star Wars. Like, we've always seen, like Coruscant in the prequels. Coruscant was this place where, like, we saw a bunch of ships fly around, and we saw a bunch of people in buildings. We don't know anything about fucking Coruscant. What's on Coruscant? Do the rich people live there? Do the poor people live there? Is it working class people? Who makes all the cities? What are all the buildings for? I don't fucking know. I just know that the Jedi are there. And in the original movies, a lot of the places we see are really seedy. We see, like, you know, the most wretched hive of scum and villainy in the entire galaxy. Stuff like that shit. And that stuff is cool. And in Rogue One, we actually see a lot of places like that too. And same in Force Awakens. It's a lot like that. It's, you know, places like Tatooine and Jakku and just, you know, interesting places. But we never really get to see, like you know, upper class, like rich people doing shit. And I thought that was interesting. It's like all of these people who make money selling weapons to the Empire and to the Rebellion. And so like the people there are into like child, like slavery and stuff, and they like have to liberate like the kids and the animals there. I don't know. Yes, it's a detour, but it was a detour that I enjoyed and thought was interesting. It never like, it didn't slow down for me. It felt interesting because I didn't know, I didn't expect where it was going. And I liked the characters. They propelled it forward, and I was just, you know, wondering what's going to happen next. I'm sure that I might have different thoughts on it now that I'm expecting that, now that I've seen the film, now that I'm going over it. This is not a big important thing in the film, by the way. This is just a silly little thing I wanted to talk about. Let's talk about other stuff. I want to mention the cinematography. The cinematography was not done justice in the trailers. Like, there are great shots in the trailers, don't get me wrong. But wow. Guys, this movie is beautiful. Like, I can't... There's not a word in the English language that I can use to describe how pretty everything was and how many shots just took my breath away, and how you were just like, I feel like more people have spent time, like Bryan Johnson spent more time composing this shot than or other people have like put into entire films. Like the last third of this film, like it's a perfect like storytelling graph. The last third of this film is entirely composed of beautiful shots. And a lot of people, if you're wondering, like, oh, you know, Force Awakens was, you know, it was a bit on repeat for me. And, you know, that's a very valid complaint. I understand it. It's kind of an issue I have with the movie, even though I still love that film very much. This movie's not that. I can't even compare it to any of the other movies. In fact, Morgan actually said a point, it's a bit more similar to Return of the Jedi if Return of the Jedi's pacing was better in the last third of it. And I agree. And so let's talk about the cool stuff that none of us expected to happen. Because, oh man. First of all, this movie's really funny in, like, the Rian Johnson funny way. Like, before, you know, J.J. Abrams has a good grasp on humor, but his, you know, it's very rudimentary. This kind of humor is so distinctly him, and I loved that. Because you could tell he was just like, they aren't gonna fucking expect me to do this. Like, when Rey... Like, they show the moment right after Rey gets there, and Luke approaches her, and, like, she's holding out the lightsaber, and, like, you expect him to take it, and, like, look at her and be like, who are you? Motherfucker says nothing, and tosses the lightsaber over the cliff, and walks away. And that was something I loved, because Luke is a damaged character in this movie. You expect him to be like this Yoda, like this wise guy, and, you know, he's gonna train Rey. He doesn't train Rey, like, at all. Like, he has one lesson, and then she's, like, super powerful with the Force, and he was just like, nah, fam, I've seen this. I'm staying away. Nope. And we find out some really interesting shit, is that when Luke was trying to start the Jedi Order, he sensed that Kylo, like, that Snoke had gotten to him and, like, infected him. And he was gonna kill him. Like, Luke was straight up going to cold-blooded murder kid Kylo Ren. And that's what propelled Kylo Ren's hatred. Is that, like, Luke was gonna stop, but for a moment he doubted himself and was gonna kill him. And then Kylo, who was already had all that shit built up, was like, nah. And then he just destroyed it. Killed all of the Jedi that were aligned with Luke, and there was a couple of them that survived, which we didn't know about, and they became the Knights of Ren, I'm guessing, because there was some that he took with them. And we don't find anything about the Knights of Ren. I'm guessing that's going to be a thing later, because, oh boy, does this come out of left field. Okay, so, like, sorry, video cut off, ran out of storage, had to delete some stuff. Anywho, I was always worried about Snoke, because I thought, like, we've done this before. We've had the Emperor, which is this evil guy, and he's an evil dude, and he wants to do evil things, and he's kind of one-dimensional, and that's fine for what they were going for. He served for Luke and Vader to have an arc. And the reason I was worried about Snoke is because he just seemed like the Emperor. He just seemed like a one-dimensional evil douchebag. And I'm like, if he's gonna do the same thing for Kylo, that's fine, but it's still the same thing. This movie's like, no, here's what we're gonna do instead of that. Is that Snoke, like, this movie is actually, like, you feel like it's gonna end way quicker. Is because, like, Rey gets brought to the throne room, like, halfway through the movie. And you think that, they're like, they're trying to turn Rey to the dark side, and Rey's like, no, I think Kylo's gonna come to the good side, and, like, there's all this tension and shit, and you could tell something's up with Kylo. Like, something's wrong with him. You can't tell, like, maybe he's gonna be good, maybe he's gonna go full evil. And Snoke had Rey's lightsaber, and, like, has it right here. Kylo, and he's like, there's this, like, climactic moment when they're trying to turn Rey, fucking turns the lightsaber on with the Force and fucking cuts Snoke in half. Literally fucking just rips him in half. And I was like, holy shit! Whoa! And then Kylo in one of the best action scenes in the franchise, in any film I've seen, there's this gorgeous fucking wide shot of Kylo and Rey fighting off the Imperial Guards, this fight scene. There's just so many moments that are, I'm not even gonna like spoil the little tiny moments here because they can still appreciate them. Because that's what I love about Rian Johnson's movies, is that he has so many little moments where you're like, wow, that was cool. Wow, that was awesome. And they're all over the place in this movie. In that scene, there's just so many moments where you're like, whoa, holy shit, holy fuck, oh my god. Like so many times when you're like, I've never seen that before. That was so cool. And that just keeps happening. And so Kylo's like, dude, Rey, Snoke is dead. Let's rule the fucking galaxy together. Fuck the rebellion. Fuck my parents. Fuck everything. Let's do it. Let's fucking take over and we can do this because we are the ones with the power now. And Rey's like, nah, you're an evil douchebag. It's tempting, but I'm not gonna. And then fucking shit happens. And then a bunch of shit happens, and it's like, oh my god, and, Luke has nothing to do with this shit. Luke has said he is gone. But there is a part where he's burning down, like, these Jedi scripts. And you kind of hear this music cue, and you're like, what is that? I know that music is from Empire. What is that music? And fucking Yoda, fucking Forced Ghost Yoda shows up in one of my favorite scenes of the movie, and just talks about it, and he's talking with Luke, and it made me kind of realize something. I couldn't word it well when I was talking with my friends, and I said, like, The Last Jedi feels like the first Star Wars movie that's about something other than Star Wars. It feels like this movie actually has themes beyond itself, themes about idolatry, and how we view heroes and heroism in general, and about what the nature of fighting for something really actually means, whether or not it's fighting against something you hate or protecting something you love, and where the line is between the two of those things. And the movie has so many perfect little character arcs that tie in, like Poe Dameron. He's in the movie a lot more this time. He's got a bunch of shit to do. Is great. Like every little character has like little arcs. Like even if they're not in there very much and they're not like written, like they're not like complete arcs or anything, but like every character has a satisfactory conclusion to what's going on with them. And man, like Carrie Fisher's got scenes in this movie. Like I love Carrie Fisher. She was such a great woman, like such a great person who used humor to rise above all of the shit that happened to her in real life. And I think that's incredibly commendable. I have such respect for her, and there are so many great scenes with her and with Luke. Like Mark Hamill delivers the best performance he's ever delivered. Like this movie, if the Oscars weren't so uppity, like, oh, we can't have such a lowbrow thing. Like, it's like why they wouldn't nominate Mad Max or they wouldn't let Mad Max win Best Picture. This, on the other hand, like, Mark Hamill is Oscar-worthy in this film. And, so is Adam Driver. Adam Driver is terrific in this. Like, he was great before. Everybody was like, oh, he's such a whiny baby in The Force Awakens. And it's like, Yeah, that's the fucking point. He is a whiny baby. That's the. Do you all understand? Whatever. But the shit just keeps happening, and the climax of this movie, like, you think so many, like, people are gonna die in this movie that end up don't dying, some that do die. And there was a couple parts where I was just like, I was on the edge of my fucking seat. I legitimately thought characters that I was going to care about were going to bite the bullet. And the ending to this movie is one of the single most satisfactory finales I've ever seen a movie have. Like, honest to God, I would be all right if they stopped making Star Wars movies after this. I know there's a lot of loose ends and there's a lot of things that can happen, but this ending is so conclusive visually, narratively. I can't even... I won't spoil everything that happens, but the way, like, Luke comes in at the last second and it's just like, you know, he spent this whole time talking about, I'm one guy. I'm not just going to come in and magically save you all. And he doesn't. But the way he ends up being the hero of this film, the way he ends up saving the day, is so fucking genius and conclusive and beautiful. I was in tears. I was in tears several times. And genius. There's a fight between two characters, won't say who, it reminded me of an Akira Kurosawa movie. I said it reminded me of Harakiri and Seven Samurai, where it was amazing. And then at the end of it, Rian Johnson just sort of does this thing where he pulls the rug out from under you and he's like, gotcha, bitch. And it's genius. It's genius filmmaking. It's genius storytelling. It's great acting. It's compelling. It's visually remarkable, like outstanding. Like, I think, like, Blade Runner 2049 still remains to be probably the most beautiful film I've seen all year. And this, damn, this is a close second. This has been such a great year for cinema. My end of the year list and me talking about movies is going to be so long. I have seen so many movies this year that are going to end up so high on my favorites list. I'm shocked. I haven't even talked about movies like Three Billboards or, like, I haven't talked about anything extensively. Man, just, dude, The Last Jedi is just so good. There's the film fan in me is happy, the film student, the intellectual side of me, the boring, shitty, you know, side, but the child in me. This has my favorite final scene in any Star Wars movie, and probably one of my favorite ending scenes of any movie. It's just Rian Johnson delivering his thesis statement on why... Sorry, cut me off again. I just wanted to say the last scene in this it's Rian Johnson's thesis statement on why Star Wars resonates with so many people, and it's why people love Star Wars, and it's beautiful. It's this tiny sentiment that is just, it's so powerful, and it makes me feel like even people who don't love Star Wars, even like I do, or just like, you know, they just think they're just movies, that final scene does such a good job of communicating why this franchise means so much to so many people, myself included. And, you know, it feels nice to have endured all the shit this year that's happened to me, to other people, just in the world, and to get this affirming message about perseverance and about just being a part of something greater, being, you know, part of your own rebellion, part of your cause, part of your life. It's just so affirming. It feels more than the sum of its parts, and the sum of its parts are more than I could have asked for. I had problems with The Force Awakens, but I still overall loved it because it's Star Wars, and I do think it added something to the franchise. And this was the payoff that movie that it built up goodwill with me, but I still wanted something different, and this movie was something different, and you all need to go and see it. And if you watch this part of the video without heeding my fucking warning, I spoiled some stuff, but I also didn't spoil other things, so there's that. But man, just go see Star Wars. If you like Star Wars, you'll like this. There are a lot of people who are already like boo-hooing the movie because, you know, this always happens with anticipated blockbusters. Like, you know, go read some of the IMDb reviews giving it like a 1 or a 2, and it's like, guys, fucking stop. you're embarrassing yourselves. You know, I'm not saying, like, you know, everybody can dislike a movie, but, you know, there's just some times where you're like, all right, clearly you're just so over-the-top vitriolic that we can't take your opinion seriously. But, you know, I loved it. It'll definitely be in the upper echelons of my favorites list, which, good God, I have like 6 movies that I just like want to tie for number 1. Wow. What a year. What a film. See ya.